Hello and welcome to this episode of Peak Life. Well, we all know that firefighting is a dangerous occupation, but there's something you may not know about that is also dangerous when it comes to being a firefighter, and that's the threat of cancer. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today, and I've got three firefighters, because what's better than one but three firefighters? We've got Chief Fancher, Lieutenant Bell, and Chief Clifford here to talk with us about this common problem within the fire service. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk a little bit about this concern of firefighters coming down with cancer. Is that as common as it is in other occupations? Why is it a concern here?
Well, so first of all, January is Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month, and so something between the IAFF and some other organizations, we're trying to bring light to that. Over recent years, there's been statistics that prove that 72% of line of duty deaths in the fire service are from cancer at this point in time. So the World Health Organization also classified firefighting as a Group 1 carcinogen, which kind of links cancer to being caused from the job. So occupational cancer is a threat, and it just kind of might not be something that everyone is aware about at this point.
Yeah. Do we see that locally? Do those statistics sort of pan out?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is the Chesapeake Fire Department doing to keep our firefighters safe?
Well, one great thing that the administration, as well as the local 2449, have worked together to get enhanced health screenings implemented. So we're screening our firefighters more often for those things. But then in terms of like what we do on the job, we do gross decontamination and some other efforts like while we're out on the job to kind of limit those risks.
Okay. Has this been a big change since you guys first started in the fire service? I mean, I'm sure you haven't always been this aware of and concerned about the problem.
30 years ago, when we came on a job, it was kind of cool to be dirty. You get a job, come out, you got all the ash on you, and your gear smelled like smoke. And we didn't know back then that what we were doing was we're exposing ourselves to more of those carcinogens. So we've changed, like Lieutenant Bell said, all those screenings, and in addition of more PPE. So we all have a second set of turnout gear, so we can, at the end of the fire, we can switch out. But even then, the dangers are still there, and it's obvious in the statistics of the folks that are coming down with cancer.
Yeah, those were some shocking statistics. So in addition to the work you do for your everyday, to keep yourself safe every day, you guys do some fun activities too to raise awareness and raise money. So that leads us to our upcoming race. Tell me a little bit about the Ruck Cancer Run Walk.
Well, the Ruck Cancer started 3 years ago. This will be our third year, but we started March Mustache Madness in 2014. But prior to that, Clifford and I both had crew members who came down with occupational cancer who actually had become line of duty deaths. And we did fundraisers, impromptu ad hoc fundraisers at that time. And then in 2014, we started March Mustache Madness to guys grow mustaches, girls can dye their hair pink, strands of their hair pink to show support for our fellow firefighters that have cancer. From that point on, then 3 years ago, we got a lot of younger firefighters, and wanted something that would get people out, involved in some kind of athletic activity. So we thought about rucking, and then we said Ruck Cancer. And so we started out at, the first two were at our Dismal Swamp, and then this year we'll be at Bells Mill Park because it's grown so much. Last year we had close to 300, and this year we hope to have more than that. But what happens, and Bell will be able to allude to this more, all the money that we raise, all of it goes to firefighters and their families fighting cancer, and he can give you the numbers on what we've done just with the last 2 years, and it's pretty damn good. Pretty good.
You're fine.
People probably would expect that from me. I'm sorry. That's pretty mild.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in the first 2 years that we had the Ruck, we've had about 440 participants in those 2 years. And we've raised and donated $27,600 to 19 local firefighter families.
Wow.
And so that's not only within the Chesapeake Fire Department, but that's also across Hampton Roads. We've donated to pretty much members of every major fire department across Hampton Roads at this point. So the participation has grown, which is why we're moving to Bells Mill Park. Maybe we can accommodate more people and hopefully raise more money this year.
Great. Now, I've seen pictures of some firefighters running in their full turnout gear, stuff on their back. like, if I were to do it, do I have to do that, or can I just run like a normal person?
Really, so we've set it up so anyone can participate.
Okay, good.
So
good.
whether you just want to walk the course or you want to compete with a rucksack, which is 35 pounds, and on your back, or you can even wear SCBA. We got firefighters wearing gear, but really, it's really about raising awareness of the fact of the dangers of our job, and we're doing that by getting together, having fun, getting out there in the field, rucking around, which is,
I love that.
kind of a term we've had, and just to build on that. So anyone can come out and join us. We've had people come out with kids pushing strollers.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
And that's a great park to hold it at, and it sounds like you're going to have open enrollment through, do we know dates, or we want to just send them to the website for more information?
So yes, you can go to runsignup.com/ruckcancer, and
Perfect.
included in the registration fee is lunch and then a T-shirt as well, a
Done,
Ruck
I'm in.
Cancer T-shirt.
You're going to feed us,
Yeah,
and we're
right?
going to run? Okay, perfect.
But to have a shirt reserved, there is a cutoff date, and off the top of my head, I think it's the 21st of February, so a month prior to the event, to make
Okay.
sure we're able to order enough.
Great.
And our theme this year, if you want to elaborate on that,
Yeah, so last year it was Keep On Ruckin', which for the older people, me and Clifford, like years in the 70s, it was Keep On Truckin'. So we had the same kind of, but this year he came up with this one. It's a Ruck Around and Find Out.
Perfect.
So yes, and
so we're going to ruck around and find out how to
Okay.
support our brothers and sisters that
Okay.
have cancer.
I love that. It's all about raising awareness about cancer in the fire service and doing what we can to keep our heroes safe. So,
Absolutely.
Did we forget anything? Anything we want to add?
One thing we need to put in is the professional firefighters of Chesapeake have been a big part of this.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Chesapeake Fire Department function, and per se, it's where it started. But we couldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for the International Association or Professional Chesapeake Firefighters really backing that up. So,
Great.
yeah, so that, just putting that, and that's the connection with the other fire departments, when we found other firefighters that were dealing with cancer, came through that union connection. So.
You can really tell that anytime you work with firefighters. It seems like a family. It seems like a brotherhood, a
100%.
sisterhood, and like you guys really have each other's back, which I imagine is absolutely essential in the situations you get yourselves into. So thank you guys so much for coming on this episode of Peak Life. We're going to send people to the website and ask them to sign up, and at the very least get on there and learn a little bit more about this race and everything that you guys are standing for. Thank you so much for being
thank you
here.
so much for having us.
Appreciate
We
your time.
appreciate it. That does it for this episode of Peak Life. Thank you so much for watching.